Hello and welcome back. Now in this session, we are going to apply the logic and make the game work. Actually, we understood what is a node, what is a block, input and output node, and let us now implement it in our game. Okay, now I am coming back to this MetaSpark Studio, and in this MetaSpark Studio, I am going to open the last time file. That is, we had saved it as spark_film quiz. In this folder you have this spark AR film quiz AR project file. I will select it and I will click open. Now when I open this is the last stage where we had saved it. One thing you have to remember here is when you are working on this type of projects, so as you are working, sometimes you get stuck and you may have to go back. So that's why we call something called as the version control. Version control means every time you save your file as a new version. So it's a good practice. So for this, what I am now going to do is I will come to file and I am going to choose save as, and for this I will come here and I am going to give this the name as spark AR underscore film quiz, and I am going to just put underscore version 2 and I am going to click save. So now the original file remains. If something goes wrong, now I can open it and I can continue my work. So I have saved it as film quiz underscore version 2, and now coming back here, we have the quiz ready, we have the board, and we have to now apply the logic. So to apply the logic, I will first maximize this. I will now we are going to work basically with this patch editor. So I will make this patch editor a little bigger. Now I will drag this film quiz component that is in the scene. I will just drag and put it into the patch editor. Now see what happens is you are going to see this. I will press Ctrl and I will zoom it. This entire block has 3 parameters. One is the object, one is the question count, and one is the score. And we have to give these 3 values to make this game run. So for this, now what I am going to do is, now what should happen? The question count should run frame 0, frame 1, frame 2. So what is the parameter now I want to control? I want to control the current frame of the animation sequence. So for this, I will come to assets and I will first select the questions, and selecting the question here, you have in the properties window on the right hand side, you have all the property of this animation sequence. You have texture, it is looped, you have frames per second, and you have one parameter here called current frame. Okay, click on this current frame arrow on the left hand side, and automatically the component current frame is added into your node. Now you can control it through your code. You can apply logic to this. I can give dynamic value to this current frame. So this, now I am going to add this. Only thing is I have named it wrong, question. So I will just double click here and I will rename it as questions rightly. So automatically when I change the name in assets, here also the name changes. Okay. Now the next thing is I will select similarly the left answers animation sequence and I will choose the current frame. You can see this node is added. I will drag and keep it here, and similarly I will select right answer and I am going to click current frame, and you can see the third node is added, and I want one more node for the score. I will select score and I will click on current frame and score node is added. So I have all the 4 nodes. I will press Ctrl and roll the mouse to zoom this out a little, and now what I am going to do is in this I will just zoom it a little so that this fits our area. Then I will just see here you have question count here. I will drag, click and drag from here to the current frame of questions. Okay. Then I will click and drag this to the left answers. I will click and drag this to the right answers, and the score tab I will connect it to the score. Okay. So this part is done. Now if I come to film quiz, I have stopped this start. In the previous session it was on, I have switched it off. If I click on start now, see I will make now my this simulator big. So as soon as I click on start, the game is going to start. So now I have one answer on left and one answer on right. So I turn, now it is showing right. I turn here, it shows right. See, as I am turning, it is showing right or wrong. So I am just tilting like this and seeing the answers. See, it is just tilting like this. Okay. So, now like this I am going to do it for 10 questions like this. One second. See. So, once I complete 10 questions, I should have the score here. See, now the score is not coming. Let us check why the score is not coming there. I will just open the patch editor and see. See, here it is showing me the score 4. See, you are seeing the number 4 here. So, the logic here it is running. This is running fine, but it is not getting displayed. Now, this is what we call as debugging. Debugging means when you build a game or something, when you run it, it is not going to run as you wish. Now, I am not seeing the score. So, what might be the problem? This process we call it as debugging. So, here to debug, I am going to check one by one stage. So, now the first thing is, if the score is coming here right, then the logic is right. It is not getting displayed. I have some problem with the texture that is applied there. So, what I will do? I will select film quiz and I will come over here and I will just check the allotment variable. Right is set to right, wrong is set to wrong, question is right, left answer is right, right answer is right, start is right. But in case, see, here is where I have done the mistake. For scoreboard, I have put the score sequence, and for score texture, I have put the scoreboard. I have to reverse this. For scoreboard, I have to change this to scoreboard, and for score texture, I have to change this to the score animation. So, now you can see the score. So, this is what we call as debugging. So, whenever we do some mistakes like this, we are going to debug it. So, now you have the score appearing. Okay. Now, again I will press stop, and one thing is, now the next logic you have to now apply is which answer is right and which answer is wrong. How are you going to decide? So, which answer left is right and which answer wrong, right side is right. So, to apply this logic, below here, if you have question amount, you can change it. If you are using 12 question, 10 question, 9 question, I can change this here. And now, here you can see the 10 questions and you have left right. This means this, if the question left side question is right, I should switch on this checkbox. If the right side question is right, I should not switch on this checkbox. So, this is the logic they have applied. So, they haven't put both the because it is true or false. So, if left is not checked, it automatically means right side is right. So, this is where the logic is going to apply. Now, what you have to do is, when you are preparing the quiz, you have to first decide for first answer which is the right question, for the second question whether left is right or right is right. So, like this I have sat down, and for my quiz I have prepared a document here which shows me and tells me, see, for question 1 left side is right, question 2 right is right, question 3 right is right. So, like this I have built a logic and I have to apply this logic to my game. Now, for question 1 left is right, I will tick it on, okay. And then for question 2 right is right means left is wrong. So, I should not switch it on. For question 3 right side is right, so I will not switch it on. For question 4 left is right, so I will switch it on, okay. And for question 5 right is right, so I will switch it off. You are understanding the logic, I think. Question 6 right side is right, so left is wrong. So, for question 6 I will switch it off. And for question 7 right side is right, this means left side is wrong. So, for question 7 I will tick this off. Then for question 8 left is right, I have kept it on. For question 9 I will have to switch on left is right, and for question 10 right side is right. So, I have to switch it off. So, in this way you have to apply the right wrong logic. So, you prepare the list. So, I have question 1, 4, 8 and 9 I have left side answers are right. So, I have set 1, 4, 8 and 9 to left on. So, I have switched on the actual these check boxes for 1, 4, 8 and 9. So, like this you have to apply the logic. Okay, now once this logic is applied, I will close this file. Now, let us test the game. So, I will just move this and make it bigger. So, you have film history quiz here. So, I will come up here and click on the start button. Now, after 1.5 seconds it starts. For the first one, left is right. See, I have to just take, okay, it is right. For the second, right is right. For the third, right is right. And for the fourth, I purposefully give wrong answer. See, it shows wrong. And for the fifth, left is right. Okay, left is right. And for the sixth, left is wrong. For the seventh, see, I will just tilt and I will show it. Eighth, then ninth, and then 10th. Okay, and I have one more question. Why? Okay, now you got the answer. I have got 5 right. So, the logic is now working. So, the game is now working perfectly fine. But now the next 2 problems I have is, see, one is if I switch it off, if I restart and if I again click on this restart. Now, when the questions are appearing, you can see it is overlapping. I have to adjust the distance. And second thing is, I have to adjust the trigger. Every time the user cannot come and click start here. This is for you to debug it. Now, in reality, what should happen is, in the Instagram filter, as soon as they see the camera, as soon as either when they tap it, this should start, or the other option is, when they switch on the record button on their camera, this should start. How to apply this trigger logic and how to fine tune the position, these 2 things we are going to discuss it in our next session. So, for this session, I will come here, file, I will save this and let us continue it with our next session. Thank you.